Welcome to the May edition of Bridge to India's monthly update on renewable power tenders. I am Drishti Singh, an analyst at Bridge to India, and I'm going to walk you through this update. May saw a 39% month-on-month jump in tendering activity with 22 new tenders totaling 3,482 megawatt capacity. Majority of the new tenders were issued under Kusum scheme. Additionally, there was one 50 megawatt EPC sub-tender reissued by NLC to implement a Project 1 under SECI Solar Wind Hybrid Tranche 4 tender. Three tenders totaling 78 megawatt capacity were cancelled in the month. On the rooftop solar side, there were 6 new tenders issued with a total capacity of 31 megawatt. Continuing with spree of auctions, 4 auctions totaling 2,250 megawatt were completed in this month. Bid submission date was extended for 32 tenders. Now let's discuss key new tenders in the month. Punjab's PSPCL issued a 1 gigawatt solar tender for projects to be developed in the state within 18 months. The last two solar auctions were completed by Punjab in Q4 2021. RVUNL reissued a solar tender for 810 megawatt after the previous tender was cancelled. The projects are to be developed in Rajasthan's ultra mega solar park in Bikaner. GUVNL issued an 800 megawatt solar tender with a 100% green shoe option. This was the second GUVNL tender for the Khavla Solar Park. Auction for the first tender was also completed in the month. In Madhya Pradesh, RUMS issued its first pumped hydro storage project development tender with a capacity of 13,800 megawatt with 6 to 8 hours of storage. The projects are to be developed in 12 pre-identified locations across the state. Minimum bid capacity is 300 megawatt. The state is auctioning these sites on the basis of development fee premium to be quoted by bidders, who will need to find offtake on their own. Two discoms in Rajasthan, JVVNL and JDVVN, issued 12 Kusum C tenders with a total capacity of 832 megawatt. Track record of Kusum tenders remains very poor so far. Now let us look at 4 auctions in the month. Result was announced for a 1000 megawatt solar tender issued by RUVNL. Average tariff discovered was Rs 2.61 per kilowatt hour. Interestingly, this is the first solar auction by Rajasthan Discoms so far. Most of the participation came from Indian developers: Jackson, Sukhbir Agro, Mahindra, Shiva Corporation and Avada. GUVNL completed auction for its 600 megawatt Khavda solar park tender. This tender was oversubscribed by 3.5 times. Average tariff came in at Rs 2.83 per kilowatt hour, up 14% over the recent non-solar park auction in September 2022. The higher tariff is due to unfavorable site conditions, high solar park charges, increased debt financing cost, and tighter DSM regulations. It remains to be seen whether the state exercises green shoe option. GUVNL also auctioned 500 megawatt wind capacity. The tender was undersubscribed with only 240 megawatt allocated capacity due to more commercial prudence, evacuation infrastructure unavailability, and GIB related restrictions. Juniper, SJVN, Evergreen, and Blue Pine were the winning bidders with an average tariff of Rs 3.15 per kilowatt hour, 5% over the previous GUVNL wind auction in January 2023. We expect wind tendering activity to improve in the coming months after the recent notification to meet sub-target of 10 gigawatt wind capacity annually until fiscal year of 2028. West Bengal's CESC allocated 150 megawatt solar wind hybrid capacity at a tariff of Rs 3.07 per kilowatt hour to AMP Energy. Now let us look at some additional updates. West Bengal regulator approved CESC's 100 megawatt procurement under SECI's Tranche 5 solar wind hybrid tender at a tariff of Rs 2.53 per kilowatt hour. With this, the entire 1,170 megawatt capacity allocated under the tender has been tied up, with the remaining allotted to Mundra Port SEZ. This auction was completed in May 2022. MERC has approved tariff for 117.5 megawatt solar capacity under MSEDCL 500 megawatt Kusum C tender. Initial bid tariffs were received in the region of Rs 3.40 to 4.49 per kilowatt hour, but after negotiation, 20 bidders with capacity totaling 117.5 megawatt have agreed to a tariff of Rs 3.10 per kilowatt hour. MERC also approved tariff of Rs 2.90 to 91 per kilowatt hour for MSEDCL Solar Tranche 9 tender. 500 megawatt power will be procured from Solar Arise, SJVN and Tata Power. MSEDCL informed the Commission that due to unavailability of interstate transmission capacity, it must procure power from intrastate projects. In return, MERC has directed the State Transco to coordinate with the DISCOMs for their 10-year procurement plans and enhance interstate transmission capacity. Next, a brief summary of top developers' participation in auctions since June 2022. A total capacity of 13.8 gigawatt has been allocated since June 2022. Top 23 developers had a share of 86% in the total allocated capacity. SJVN, Avada, Bluepine and NTPC were the most active participants, bidding for more than 9 tenders each. Average bid size across the top developers was 257 megawatt. The highest average bid capacity was 364 megawatt by NTPC. Renew, NTPC and Avada were the biggest winners. With this, we conclude the May tender update. We hope you found this update useful. You can view all tender, policy and regulatory information on the renewable power sector 24/7 at India RE Navigator, a one-stop market intelligence portal for the renewable sector. You can also write to us at contact@bridgetoindia.com if you have a query or feedback. We would love to hear back from you. We'll be back next month with another update. Thank you and goodbye.